Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Head 2. Hope you like this video, and hit that subscribe button. So we're going to talk about the New York Giants. They won their first game, week 3 of the NFL season. They defeated the Browns 21-15. We're going to get into it momentarily, but here we go. Giants overcome ugly start to beat the Browns 21-15 for first win of the season. Some Giants wire. And of course, it's good to see they're now 1-2. It's going to be a tough week coming up. New York Giants came into Cleveland looking for their first victory of the season. They entered the game a 6.5-point underdog. It was the 18th consecutive game in which they were the underdog, tying the franchise's all-time record. That's a record of infamy. Game started slowly for the Giants as they fumbled the opening kickoff, which led to a very quick Cleveland touchdown. Giants did not get discouraged. They fought back and made a statement that their season is far from over. It might be over next week. To be honest with you. The keys to the game. The Giants defense played an aggressive game. They recorded 17 quarterback hits, 8 for sacks, and made 5 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. They converted on 3 of their 4 red zone possessions while holding the Browns to just 1 trip inside the 20. The Giants held Cleveland to 3.2 yards per carry passing play and 3.8 yards per play on the ground. It's all good things. The game was over when Giants running back Devon Singletary ripped off a 43-yard run right before the 2-minute warning to effectively ice the game. Singletary stopped just short of the goal line to allow more time to run off the clock. Cleveland had no timeouts remaining, and Daniel Jones knelt 3 times to end the game. It was a beautifully selfless play by the savvy veteran. Yeah, okay, he's not savvy. The big player of the game and the main player of the game, and we'll get into him momentarily, is wide receiver Malik Nabors, caught 8 of 12 targets for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the process, Nabors continued to forge his legend with several eye-popping grabs. The Giants have a good wide receiver core led by this young guy. Quarterback Daniel Jones threw for 236 yards on 24 of 34 passing with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions for 109.4 QB rating. Running back Devin Singletary rushed 16 times for 65 and a touchdown and caught 4 passes for another 43 yards. The Giants' defense was excellent all game. 9 different players were credited with sacks. Cornerback Cordell Flute led the team with 9 total tackles. Defensive Brian Burns had 2 past defenses. His first sack as a Giant and forced a fumble. Now, there are some injuries to the team. Center John Michael Schmitz was evaluated after the Giants' first possession in the medical tent. He returned to the next series. Rookie defensive back Drew Phillips left the game in the first quarter and was questionable to return. Cordell Flute shifted into the slot, and Ordore Jackson filled in on the outside. Jackson also suffered a calf injury. Linebacker Mika McFadden was walked off the court by trainers in the fourth quarter, but returned the next possession. And, of course, wide receiver Darius Slayton walked into the locker room at the beginning of the third quarter, but returned to the game. Now, what's next for next week? Well, a big task is at hand. Head coach Brian Daboll will hold a Zoom call with the team's beat writers on Monday afternoon, which took place today, before a few players are also made available. Big Blue will return to practice on Tuesday ahead of a Week 4 game against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday, September 26th at MetLife Stadium. This is this week. And kickoffs for 8:15. I'll see how much I can cover this game because, as you know, the Mets are in the playoff hunt, and they have a big series against the Braves this week. So we'll keep you abreast in this whole situation. Malik Nabors makes NFL history in thrilling New York Giants upset win over the Browns. A star is born for the Giants. Well, he was a star before this. Given this young man his flowers, ladies and gentlemen, a star is born. In Week 3, the New York Giants traveled to take on the Browns, and basically no one gave them a shot to record a win. After going 0-2 to start the season, you couldn't blame haters for going after the G-Men. However, despite a nightmare start on the opening kickoff, Big Blue was able to post a 21-15 win. Daniel Jones was fantastic, and Shane Bowen deserves a ton of praise for how his defense performed. However, we have to bring up the incredible play of number 6 overall pick, Malik Nabors. The first round, they finished with 8 receptions for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. To make things even better for him, Nabors actually made NFL history in this one. He had an epic showing for the Giants in the win over the Cleveland Browns. The showing for Nabors came after his 10-reception, 127-yard game against the Commanders in Week 2. Remember when people were calling Nabors the savior of the offense? He's proven to be just that, and he's living up to his wide receiver 1 in billing. This kind of electric play Nabors is providing is something that's been missing for years. Absolute years. The first-year playmaker and Danny Dimes continue to look more comfortable working with one another, which is obviously great to see. Those two were fully in sync in Cleveland, being a major reason why an upset win was able to be posted. Goodness, this was the one that the Giants needed too. The morale for this squad was quite low after the heartbreaking defeat versus Washington. Things were so bad for this team that Brian Daboll was even asked by reporter Pat Leonard if he thought his job security was in question. Now the Giants are 1-2 after they were able to close things out late. There were plenty of nervous fans, especially after Cleveland came within 21-15. But there was no late-minute loss for people to be haunted by again. Will this win turn things around for the Giants? It's tough to say, but there are a lot of relieved Big Blue fans. This team delivered when they needed to. Well, here's the thing, we're going up against the Cowboys, and the Giants have not played well against the Cowboys in a long time. Years. They haven't gotten a win in years against the Cowboys. This is going to be a tough week, and it's a short week for the Giants. They're going to be playing on Thursday. This is not an easy assignment for this group, and it's going to be very difficult. After basically holding on in this game, they did score a point in the second half. To keep in mind, they scored all 21 points in this game in the first half, 14 points in the second quarter. So this is going to be a tough task for the New York Giants against the Cowboys. It's always tough against the Cowboys, but it's certainly going to be quite the task this week. Now, you let me know what you think about this video. We'll have a preview of this, I think. I can't promise you with the baseball going on, but I'll let you know what I think about this in a couple of days. We'll definitely have a video on Friday to give you a report on what's going on with the Giants. And thank you for coming by, and I'll see you later.